In a silent space station above a dying red star, everything was clean, cold, and quiet. The alien scientist, Dr. Zelia, stood in her lab, surrounded by blinking screens and glowing machines. Her 4 purple eyes moved quickly as she examined the strange DNA patterns on the screen in front of her. She was one of the smartest fertility researchers in the galaxy. But today, something had broken all the rules. She had never seen DNA like this before. "This cannot be right," she whispered to herself, her fingers moving quickly over the control panel. "Run the scan again." The machine hummed and beeped. Inside the sealed glass chamber, a human male sat, confused but calm. His name was Alex. He had been captured during a small exploration mission on a border planet. The aliens had taken him without asking questions. They called it research. Zelia didn't hate humans, but she believed, like most aliens, that humans were simple, weak creatures, useful for study, nothing more. She expected his DNA to be normal, but it wasn't. The screen glowed bright blue. The numbers exploded across the monitor. The fertility levels were too high, unbelievably high. It was like the human body was made to create life without stopping. Even the computer couldn't keep up. The system crashed for a moment. She stepped back, her heart beating fast. This is impossible. She opened the sealed file logs and compared Alex's DNA to 10 other species from different parts of the galaxy, some with strong fertility, others with nearly none. Every result showed the same shocking thing. The human male's fertility was stronger than anything ever recorded in galactic history. "This should not exist," she said again. She looked at Alex. He simply stared back at her, tired but calm. He didn't know what she was seeing. He didn't know he was different. But to Zelia, he was now the most valuable being in the galaxy. Suddenly, a sharp buzzing sound filled the lab. A red light blinked above the door. Unauthorized scan attempt detected. Someone was watching her. She quickly shut off the screen and locked the data. She knew the council didn't allow private studies on humans. They were supposed to be simple test subjects, nothing more. But she had broken that rule. And now, someone new. Zelia took a deep breath. Her hands were shaking. She had to decide fast, report the discovery or keep it hidden. If the council learned the truth, they would take Alex. They would turn him into a breeding machine. He would become a resource, not a person. "No," she whispered. "They cannot. No. Not yet." She turned to the chamber and tapped the glass. Alex looked up. "I need your help," she said softly. "But I also need your trust." He frowned. "Who are you?" "My name is Zelia. I'm trying to help you. But if others find out what I've seen, you'll never be free again." Alex stood slowly. "What did you find?" She hesitated. Could she tell him? Would he even understand? "You're different," she said. "Your body creates life, faster, stronger, and more efficiently than anything we've ever seen." Alex blinked. "That's good, right?" Zelia nodded slowly. "It's more than good. It's dangerous because now you're not just a human. You're the most valuable biological being in the galaxy, and someone already tried to hack into my lab to find that out." Alex stepped closer to the glass. "What do we do?" "We hide the truth," she said. "We keep this secret until I know who to trust." Suddenly the lab lights flickered. A loud voice echoed across the hallway outside. "Dr. Zelia, open the door. This is Central Command." She froze. "They were here," she whispered fast. "Listen to me. Don't speak. Don't act strange. Let me handle them." Alex nodded once, his face calm but his fists tight. The door slid open. 2 tall alien guards entered, followed by a lower-level scientist named Dran. He didn't like Zelia. He always wanted her position, and he had a sharp eye for secrets. "Routine check," Dran said coldly. "Your lab had an irregular scan. We're making sure there's no rule-breaking going on." Zelia smiled smoothly. "Just a small system glitch. I was comparing fertility data from the Glothan species. You're welcome to check the logs. Dran moved toward the screen. Zelia pressed a hidden button under her desk. A fake report loaded instantly. Dran read it, frowned, then stepped back. Fine, he said. But be careful, Doctor. Accidents lead to punishments. He and the guards left. Zelia exhaled slowly. Her hands were still shaking. She looked at Alex again. That day, a silent deal was made between them. A human, more powerful than he understood, an alien scientist, risking everything to protect him, and a secret that could change the future of the galaxy. Inside the hidden lower level of the space station where few ever walked, Dr. Zelia worked in silence. She had moved Alex to a secret chamber far from the main labs. This room had no windows, no records, and no access from the outside. Only, Zelia had the key. Every hour she returned with new tools, samples, and questions. But today was different. She had brought something alive. It was a small container holding alien reproductive cells, cells from a rare female species known as the Ivarine, a race that had lost the ability to bear children over 100 years ago. Zelia's hope was simple. Test a drop of Alex's blood on the dying Ivarine cells and observe the reaction. She believed nothing would happen. But deep inside, she feared something would. Alex sat quietly on the table, his wrists free now. He had agreed to help, but only because he trusted her. He watched her work, curious but silent. Are you sure about this? He asked. No, she replied honestly. But the galaxy is already watching. We need to understand what you are before they do. She took a small needle, pricked Alex's arm, and let one drop of his blood fall into the cell tray. At first, nothing happened. Then, the cells moved. They twitched, then wiggled. Then they began to grow. Zelia gasped. They're alive. She checked the readings. The Ivarine cells were multiplying fast, faster than anything she'd seen. In just 2 minutes, they had doubled. In 5, they had started to form early signs of embryonic structures. Alex stood. What's happening? Your blood. It's not just fertile, it's like a spark. It gives life to what was dead. This isn't normal biology. This is something beyond science. Before she could say more, alarms started flashing. Again. This time, not from her lab. It was coming from the AI monitoring system. The fertility levels had crossed an illegal threshold. If Command noticed, they'd come again. And this time she might not be able to lie. Zelia rushed to disconnect the machine, but the data had already been uploaded into the system. Even if it was encrypted, someone could still trace it. Alex saw her panic. They're going to find out, aren't they? Sooner or later, she said. Unless we make them believe, you're not special. She looked around the lab. Then an idea struck her. We need to fake your records. Make it seem like you're below average in fertility, unimportant, useless to research. But I'm not useless, Alex said. I'm the opposite. Yes, she said, and that's the problem. She worked quickly, injecting false data into the main system. Fertility levels low, DNA sequence unstable, unfit for breeding tests. A complete lie. But if it worked, it would buy them time. But someone else had already begun watching. On the other side of the station, in a dark surveillance room, a hidden figure watched the data stream through a red screen. Subject 47H shows signs of viral reproduction. Cross-species fusion confirmed. The figure whispered into a comm device. Prepare to activate protocol seedfall. The subject must be secured and isolated. If Dr. Zelia resists, remove her. Back in the lab, Zelia didn't know the storm was coming. She was still focused on her new discovery. If Alex's blood could awaken dead cells, then maybe, just maybe, he could help other alien races survive. Some species were nearly extinct. Others had been without natural births for centuries. Entire galactic empires were fading due to infertility. To them, Alex would not be a man. He would be a miracle. but miracles were often owned, not respected. "Tomorrow," she said, "we test on a full hybrid embryo. It's risky, but I need to know how far your gift can go." Alex nodded, still trying to understand what he had become. He was just a normal human. Until now. That night, as the space station floated quietly near the edge of a dying star, a plan was being formed. Across the galaxy, old species were watching, listening, calculating. Because somewhere in the cold metal halls of a forgotten lab, the future of reproduction had just been born, inside the veins of a human, and soon, everyone would want a piece of it. Far above the space station, deep inside a moon-sized ship known as the Galactic Core Nexus, a red alert flashed across the Council's private data net. Only one word appeared across all member screens: human fertility spike detected. Class Omega. Inside the Council chamber, 12 alien leaders from 12 ancient species sat in silence. None of them spoke for several seconds. Even the air inside the room felt heavier than usual. The head of the Council, Elder Drak of the Tanari, finally leaned forward. His voice was cold and slow. "Who authorized a fertility experiment on a Class C primitive species? Without Council permission?" A low-level official stepped forward, trembling. "Sir, the report comes from Dr. Zelia, but she marked the test as a glitch. A false reading." Elder Drak narrowed his yellow eyes. "Then why is the system screaming for protocol seedfall?" The chamber buzzed with whispers. Some species were dying, others had lost the ability to create new life. If the report was true, if a single human could unlock new generations for extinct bloodlines, then the balance of power in the galaxy would shift. Someone stood up fast. Lady Varel, a tall, sharp-eyed alien whose race had not seen a single natural birth in 300 years. "If this human is real," she said, "then he belongs to the Council. He must be studied, controlled, and, if needed, shared." Elder Drak nodded. "Prepare the ships. Take him alive. And if Zelia gets in the way, remove her quietly." Meanwhile, in Lab 9, Dr. Zelia stared at her cracked tablet. The encryption she had set to protect Alex's data had been broken. She felt a chill crawl up her spine. "They know." Alex looked up from the side bench. "What does that mean for us?" "It means," she said, "they're coming. And not to ask questions." She paced, thinking fast. "I need to move you again. Somewhere deeper. And I need to destroy all my research. If they find out what we've learned, they'll take you and turn you into a tool." Alex stood. "Then let's fight back." Zelia paused. "You don't understand," she said. "These people don't fight with weapons. They fight with laws, rules, and ownership. They will put your name in a file and call it science, and you'll be gone." "But I'm not theirs," Alex said. "I'm a person." "You're more than that now," she whispered. "You're a future." She handed him a small glowing device. "This is a data crystal. Inside is the full report, every experiment, every reading. You must never lose it. One day the galaxy might need the truth, but not now. Not while you're hunted." Before Alex could speak, the lab shook violently. Boom! A section of the ceiling cracked. Emergency lights turned red. A robotic voice rang. Through the station. "Galactic Council Retrieval Squad, Level 3 breach in Sector D. All staff comply immediately." "They're here," Zelia said. Down the corridor, armed aliens in black armor marched through steel doors. They weren't here to ask questions. They were here to capture. A council hunter called Karnex moved at the front, his eyes scanning for signs of human heat signatures. His voice was sharp. "Find the human. Do not damage the specimen." Back in the lab, Zelia moved quickly. She activated an old escape tunnel, one not used since the station's first wars. It led to a garbage chute which would take Alex to the lower power bay. "It's dirty, dark, and full of broken machines," she said. "But they won't find you there, not right away." Alex gripped her arm. "What about you?" "I'll stall them, buy you time. You'll be arrested," she smiled. "Probably, but I chose this." He hesitated, then nodded. As he dropped into the tunnel, he looked back one last time. "Thank you," he said. "Live," she replied. Moments later, the lab door crashed open. Carnex entered, his black eyes scanning the room. "Where is the specimen?" Zelia smiled calmly. "I deleted him," Carnex growled. "You lie." He turned and gestured. Guards grabbed her, binding her arms. But she didn't struggle. Her mind was on Alex, on the tiny crystal he now carried in his hand. Let them take her. She had already won the first move. On a quiet lower deck, Alex moved through the dark chute. Strange alien machines lay rusted around him. But he didn't stop. His heart was racing, his breath fast, but in his hand he held something powerful. A truth the galaxy wasn't ready for. That humans were not just strong, not just smart, but something far more terrifying, unstoppably fertile. And that truth was only the beginning. The air in the station had changed. Alex could feel it. He was hiding in the lowest level of the space station where machines came to die. This part was dark, full of dust and cold steam. No one came here anymore. Not even the cleaning drones. It smelled of oil and old wires, but above him the station was busy. Too busy. He heard the sound of ships landing, doors opening, new footsteps, loud voices, laughter. But it wasn't normal laughter. It was excited, greedy, hungry. Something was wrong. Then he heard it. The human is here. The breeder. A soft voice from somewhere above. Not angry, not scared. Eager. Alex moved deeper into the shadows. Meanwhile, in the central bay, dozens of alien ships had docked. Not warships, not council ships. These were private vessels, personal cruisers of rich and powerful alien females from across the galaxy. They had heard the news. A fertile human male, stronger than any species, capable of bringing life to the lifeless. And now, they had come. Not with guns, but with gifts, jewels, contracts, promises, offers of marriage, offers of other things. A wide alien woman with scales smiled at the station commander. "I will pay 5 solar thrones. Let me take him first. I am ready for him now." Another stepped forward, tall, soft-skinned, with glowing blue eyes. "I don't want him for breeding. I just want to talk to him." But they were all lying. They didn't want the man. They wanted the miracle inside him. Back in the power bay, Alex sat beside a broken fuel pod thinking. His hand still held the small crystal Zelia had given him. He missed her. He hoped she was safe. He didn't want to run anymore. He wanted to fight. But how? Just then, a voice spoke from the shadows. "You look lost, human." Alex jumped to his feet. A figure stepped forward, small, with glowing green eyes. A child? No, not a child. Not exactly. "My name is Tali. I'm one of the first." "First?" Alex asked. "First hybrids, half human, half alien, created long ago before the rules changed." Alex looked shocked. "I thought hybrids weren't allowed." "They aren't," she said, smiling. "That's why we hide." Behind her, 2 others stepped out, one with short wings, one with soft blue fur. They were like her, mixed blood, different, forgotten. "But we've been watching you, Alex," Tali said. "We want to help you escape." "Why?" "Because if they take you, they'll never stop. They'll never let others like us live free. But if you survive, if you speak the truth, maybe things will change." Alex nodded slowly. "What's the plan?" Above, in the council chamber, a report came in. Humans still missing, Dr. Zelia refusing to speak. Elder Drax slammed his fist down. "Find him, now! If he escapes the station, the galaxy will go mad." But it was already too late. That night, under cover of darkness, Tali led Alex through the machine tunnels. They avoided guards, avoided cameras. They used secret vents, old systems, and dead zones. They reached the docking bay where a small ship waited. "It's old," she said. And slow. But it can get you past the first scan gate. Alex turned to her. What about you? She smiled. We're staying. Someone has to mislead the hunters. He wanted to argue, but she shook her head. Your job is to get out and tell everyone what we are. What you are, not a resource, not a breeder, a person. Alex nodded, eyes wet. As he stepped onto the ship, he saw movement above. Dozens of female aliens were entering the bay, dressed in royal robes and golden armor. Their eyes searched the shadows like predators. One of them shouted, "Is he here? The fertile one? Show him to me." The engines of the small ship roared to life. Alex looked one last time at the station, then took off, through fire, through lasers, through broken metal doors. The ship shook violently, but it held. Minutes later, in open space, Alex sat in the pilot seat, breathing hard. Stars passed by outside. Silence filled the ship. He looked at the data crystal again. Inside this small thing was a truth worth billions, but more than that. It was proof he was more than what they thought. He wasn't a tool. He wasn't a myth. He was human. And the galaxy had just lost its chance to own him. The small ship sped through empty space, leaving the station far behind. Stars blurred across the windows as the engines screamed. Inside, Alex gripped the controls tightly, sweat on his forehead, his heart pounding. But he wasn't alone in the stars. Behind him, a red dot blinked on the radar, then 2, then 9. The council had released a bounty. Capture the human male alive, 100 million credits. Every smuggler, pirate, and hunter in the nearby systems had joined the chase. Not for justice, not for science, for the reward. On a black warship nearby, bounty hunter Zarnok the Skin Taker licked his metallic lips. His ship, the Bloodfang, had already locked onto Alex's tiny vessel. He's mine, Zarnok growled. Beside him, a second ship opened comms. No, came the voice of Lady Varel, the rich alien female who had offered to buy Alex back on the station. He belongs to my people. Stand down, Zarnok laughed. Pay me more than the bounty, and maybe I'll deliver him alive. But no one would back down. They all wanted him. Inside Alex's ship, alarms began to flash. Missiles incoming. He dove the ship down, spinning between asteroid shards. Explosions lit up the space behind him. He flew faster than he thought possible, but the engine lights were blinking red. The ship was old, breaking down. I can't keep this up, he muttered. He grabbed the glowing data crystal Zelia had given him. As he looked at it, a soft voice played from it, Zelia's voice. If you're hearing this, then they're chasing you, but you must not give up. There's one place they won't follow. Go to the planet Vailnora. Its radiation blocks council ships. You'll be safe, for now. Alex entered the coordinates. The ship turned sharply toward a bright blue planet, wrapped in thick clouds, but he didn't see the shadow waiting near the planet's orbit. A new ship had arrived. Not council. Not a bounty hunter. This one was quiet, invisible. It belonged to a forgotten race, the Terran Kai, known for hiding in darkness. Their leader, a woman named Commander Vesh, watched the humans' ship with cold eyes. The stories are true, she whispered. The fertile one is real. Beside her, a scientist spoke. Shall we intercept? Vesh shook her head. No. Let him land. Let him run. We'll follow silently. Learn his habits. If what they say is true, he may not just be fertile. She zoomed in on the scan. He may be evolving. Alex landed the ship on Vailnora, crashing into a thick jungle. He stumbled out, bruised but alive. The world around him was strange. Giant flowers moved when he walked by. The sky was purple, the ground soft under his feet. It was beautiful, but dangerous. Suddenly pain shot through his body. His arms trembled, his chest burned. He fell to his knees. What's happening to me? His veins glowed faintly. He reached into his medkit and scanned his blood. Warning. Rapid cellular regeneration. Detected. Unstable fertility levels. Genetic shift in progress. Alex stared at the screen. What? What does this mean? Then he remembered what Zelia once told him. Your blood doesn't just give life. It changes it. His fertility was no longer just strong. It was mutating, healing wounds, fixing cells, creating new life inside him. He wasn't just a human anymore. He was something new. High above the planet, Commander Vesh watched it all through secret drones. Start recording, she whispered. The galaxy had hunted a man, but what they found might be a god. The ground of Vailnora felt strange beneath Alex's feet. It was soft and warm, like walking on breathing earth. The sky above him was deep violet, with 3 pale moons hanging still in the air like frozen eyes. The planet looked alive, but something was missing. There were no birds, no buzzing bugs, no sounds of children laughing. Just silence. Alex walked for hours until he reached a giant wall, built from smooth black stone. It surrounded a hidden city, tall silver towers rising quietly behind it. The gate opened not with weapons, but with hope. A group of aliens stood waiting. They were tall, thin, elegant beings with glowing silver skin and hollow eyes. Their clothes were simple, their faces calm. But behind their calm, Alex felt a storm of sadness. A woman stepped forward. She looked older than the others, wiser. Her voice was soft. You are the one from the stars. The human. Alex nodded. We watched your landing, she said. You crashed in the sacred jungle, but we didn't stop you. We hoped. We prayed the stories were true. What stories? Alex asked. She looked at the other aliens, then back at him. That humans carry life in their blood. That you can awaken what has long been lost. Alex didn't know what to say. He was tired, confused. His body still hurt from the changes. We are the Ilyari, she said. Our kind has not had a child in over 200 years. We do not remember the sound of a baby crying. Our gardens are full of flowers, but our homes are empty. We are dying, beautiful and alone. Alex lowered his eyes. I'm not a doctor. I can't fix a planet. The woman stepped closer. Please, come inside. Let us just test. If you cannot help, we will never ask again. Inside the city, everything was quiet and clean. Water flowed through the streets in silver channels. Plants grew on rooftops. It felt like a place made for peace but cursed by silence. They brought him to a glowing medical chamber. A small group of scientists waited. No one forced him. They only asked. Alex laid down and allowed them to scan his body. As the machine worked, the head scientist gasped. His cells. They're producing energy we've never seen. Another whispered. His blood is rewriting the genetic code of the air itself. The older woman looked into Alex's eyes. Do you feel it, human? The pull of this place? The sadness around you? I do, he said quietly. She took his hand. Then maybe you are what we've waited for. They brought in a young Ilyari, woman who had long dreamed of motherhood. Her name was Naya. Her face was kind but tired. She stepped forward with a mixture of fear and hope. I don't want power, she said. I just want to feel a heartbeat, inside me. Alex looked at her, unsure, but the elders promised. No force, no shame, no demand. Just a test. They took only a drop of his blood. The machines mixed it with Naya's dormant genetic cells. Everyone watched. Nothing happened at first. Then, light. The cells began to divide, then multiply, then glow. A soft alarm sounded, one that hadn't been heard in centuries. Life detected. Naya fell to her knees, her eyes filled with tears. I can feel it, she whispered. Something new, something alive. The room broke into silence, then gasps, then cries. Outside, the city lights turned gold in celebration. The Ilyari hadn't seen new life in generations. Now a single human had lit the first flame of rebirth. Alex walked out of the chamber to the sound of song. Not music, but hope. Far above the planet, hidden in the shadows of a nearby asteroid, Commander Vesh still watched through her secret drone. She had seen the test. She had seen the child begin. Her second in command looked afraid. What do we do now? Vesh stared hard at the screen. We cannot let him spread, she said. If he gives this gift to every dying species, the power of the council will break. So, we eliminate him? Vesh thought for a long moment. No, she said coldly. We control him. We offer protection. We act like allies. But once he trusts us, we take what we need. She leaned back. Prepare the message. Tell the council we've found their human god. But on the planet's surface, Alex didn't know the galaxy was watching. For now, he simply stood under the violet sky, looking at a people who had forgotten how to smile. And now, for the first time in centuries, they were dancing in the streets. He had given life without even meaning to. But deep inside, something was beginning to wake up inside him too. Not just fertility, not just strength, something ancient, something powerful, something not fully human anymore. Alex stood at the top of the silver tower in the Iliari city, watching the golden lights glow below. The people were celebrating, dancing, singing. After centuries of silence, a heartbeat had returned to their world. But inside Alex, something had changed forever. His body was no longer fully human. His cells were growing faster, stronger. His blood carried a force that didn't just give life, it rewrote it. He felt things he couldn't explain, heard voices in the wind, felt the pull of unborn stars. He was no longer just a man, he was becoming something more. A signal came through from space. A large ship was approaching, bigger than anything the Iliari had seen. It flew slow, gentle, peaceful. No weapons were pointed, no alarms sounded. Inside, the main chamber, the Iliari leaders gathered. Naya stood beside Alex, her hands gently over her stomach. She was already glowing. The child inside her was strong. Alex listened carefully as the ship sent a message. We come in peace. We wish to talk to the human who brought life. We offer him protection and alliance. Please allow Commander Vesh to land. Alex said nothing at first. His eyes closed. He remembered Zelia, her warnings, her voice, her bravery. He opened his eyes. Let her land, he said. The alien ship touched down outside the city. It opened slowly like a blooming flower. Commander Vesh stepped out in a long cloak, her face soft, voice calm. She bowed to the Iliari. Thank you for welcoming me. I am not here for war. I am here to meet the future. Then she looked at Alex. At last, she said. The galaxy's miracle. He didn't smile. Say what you came to say. Vesh nodded. You have awakened something in the stars, Alex. Planets are calling for you. Civilizations are begging for your gift. Entire empires are ready to kneel if you give them children again. I'm not a god, he replied. No, she said. But you're no longer a man either. She stepped closer. We want to offer you protection, a council seat, power, ships, anything you ask. All we want is your blood. Not all of it, just enough to save the galaxy. Alex looked at Naya, at the people, at the growing joy. You speak of saving, he said. But you only want to own me. Vesh's face twitched. That's not true. It is, Alex said. You don't see a person. You see a resource, like they did on the station, like the others will. Vesh's voice turned colder. If you refuse, others will come. You can't run forever. I'm not running, Alex said calmly. I'm choosing. He pulled out the data crystal. It held everything, Zelia's research, his evolution, the truth. He looked at the Iliari leaders. I will share this data freely, with every species who asks for help. Not for profit, not for control, but for hope, for life. Vesh's eyes went wide. No, yes, he said. There will be no price for life anymore. With that, He uploaded the data into the galaxy's free network. Millions of species would receive it within minutes. The power to heal, to reproduce, to survive was no longer hidden. Vesh stepped back. Her mission had failed. "You've doomed us all," she hissed. "There will be chaos, overpopulation, war." "No," Alex said. "There will be birth, and with it, a new chance." That night, the stars across the galaxy lit up. On cold planets, new life stirred in labs and wombs. On forgotten worlds, sterile races cried as their future returned. The data spread like light through darkness, and everyone knew one name: Alex, the human who gave the stars life. Back in the Ilyari city, Alex stood beside Naya as she felt her child move again. He smiled for the first time in days. He didn't need a throne. He didn't need a title. He had already changed the galaxy, with kindness, not control. And far away, in a quiet prison cell, Dr. Zelia smiled too, because she had believed in him before anyone else.